What's going on, Daytona fans? Welcome back to another video. This is episode 2 of Budget Buys. Now we're going to take a dive into the $10,000 to $15,000 range. In addition to this video, I've also upgraded my software, so now that when you see the computer screen, there's not going to be all those wavy lines, because now I'm recording off the computer. I'm not using camera to record the computer. So it'll be nice and clear, and everybody will get some good shots of what I'm looking at. So we have 74 vehicles on Auto Tempest as a result for our $10,000 to $15,000 Dodge Charger searches, and I'm going to show you 2 this time. However, I'm only going to keep 1. The reason why I'm showing you 2 is because this is just an awesome price range. There are 2, count them, 2 Dodge Daytonas within the $10,000 to $15,000 range. The first one is not an ad, but it is a plum crazy purple Daytona. Huh, are you serious? For less than $15,000 I can get a plum crazy Daytona? This is a 2007 with 69,000, 70,000 miles, let's just call it that. And they want $11,500 for it. I mean, that's incredible. $70,000 is not a lot for a car that was produced in 2007. And of course, this Daytona is limited edition. So let me just show you the plaque real quick. I'm not gonna go into detail about this car because this is not a car that I would consider, and I'll tell you that in just a moment. Let me just find that plaque. There it is. Number 614 out of 1,400 plum crazy Daytonas. So if you're looking for an older Daytona, hey, you know what? You don't have to spend an arm and a leg to get it. Now, I'm going to scroll back up and show you why, and it's right here in this picture. You can see the bumper is a different shade of purple than the rest of the car. So that implies that this bumper was probably replaced. It might have been in an accident. Not that accidents are a big deal in the used market, but I can't live with 2 different shades of purple. You know, if it was the same shade, I wouldn't have cared that the car was in an accident, but this is just, it's super obvious, and that's something that would eat me day in and day out until I got it fixed. And you know what? If I'm paying $11,500 for a Daytona, I probably wouldn't fix the bumper, you know? I mean, especially knowing how much repainting a bumper costs. I mean, I don't know how much it costs, but I'm sure it wouldn't be cheap. So that is the only reason why this Daytona was not included in the running. Now, the other Daytona is an orange Daytona. It is a 2006 with 63,000 miles, so a little bit less for a little bit more money. For about $500 more, you're getting a car that's 1 year older. However, you're getting about 6,000 miles less. Now, let's just take a quick look at this, and a quick look shows that, you know, the paint is uniform. The bumper doesn't look like a different shade than the rest of the car, and it's in great condition. Look at that. The seats, you know, the seats aren't bad. We always look for cracks in the seats. And that indicates that somebody has not been taking care of their seats. They haven't been wiping it down with the solutions. They haven't been cleaning it, you know, doing any upkeep with it. So let's take a look at this Daytona real quick. You can see right from the first picture, the paint is uniform. The bumper isn't a darker or a lighter shade than the rest of the car, which implies that even if it wasn't an accident, it was repaired correctly. So that's a very good sign. Of course, you won't know if it's been in any accident until you take a look at the Carfax. Just going around all these pictures, it looks like it's in pretty good condition. And if you think about it, a 2006 with 63,000 miles, that's less than 10,000 miles a year. So this car was not driven at all. I wouldn't be surprised if this car was a summer car only and there is minimal rust in there. I mean, look at these wheels. They're in absolute perfect condition. You know, I mean, there's the wheel weights out here, which I'm not a fan of because that scratches up the wheel, but you know what, it is what it is. You can take it off and have a tire shop put wheel weights on the inside. That's not a huge deal. But as we go through the pictures, there's nothing that sticks out that makes me think that this car wasn't taken care of. You know, and there's the VIN number right there if you wanted to run it yourself. So on the Mopar side, this would be my pick. This orange Charger RT Daytona for $12,000. Now, let's take a look at our competitor vehicle. And of course, if I'm going to pick an awesome vehicle like the Daytona, I have to pick something awesome to compare it to. And that awesome vehicle is the 2006 Ford Mustang GT. Now, what's so cool about this car is not only the stripes, but the fact that it's a good body style. It looks menacing. You know what? If I'm gonna get a Daytona, I want to be noticed in every other competitor's car, and this out of 138 Mustangs is the one I would choose. So let's just take a look at it real quick. So we can see here the racing stripes obviously makes you go faster, right? So gotta have those. And let's see here. So here's the first issue I see with this Mustang. If you take a look at this black area, even the red area here, you can see a little streaking. And that comes from incorrectly drying the car, whether they use the wrong towel or the wrong method. But the more you dry the car incorrectly, the more streaking you're gonna get. And I believe further down in these pictures, it gets a close-up of how bad it is. So let's just scroll right through. The wheels look fine. Looks like some kind of aftermarket exhaust, to be honest with you. I don't think a 06 Mustang has tips that big, and I don't know, it just doesn't look factory, but that's irrelevant. And we're just going to keep on going through the lights. Lights, more lights. And here's a good picture. Here's a fog light, and right above it you see a lot of little rock chips. So that implies that this car was used. Not that it's a big deal. Every used car comes with rock chips. It's just a matter of how many rock chips there are, and that's something you'll have to go to the dealership to take a look at. And that's just something you'll have to decide for yourself, whether you're okay with that amount of rock chips or whether you'd like less. But we can just keep going, and here's the picture I was talking about. You see the streaking here? Even on the plastic, it's streaking. So it means that whoever was drying the car just didn't dry it the right way. Or maybe they even dry wiped it just to get some stuff off, and that's just horrible. Horrible for the paint. I mean the clear coat, but eventually I'm sure if you kept doing it, it would get down to the paint. So this is something you'd have to get a good detail and buff out for. And I believe, yep, it's also here by the gas door. So my assumption would be, oh no, I'm sorry, that's the rear. That's the rear badging. So my assumption would be that these swirls are all over the car. And if that's the case, you're going to have to get a really, really good detail, which is not going to be cheap, just to get rid of it. But if you can live with it, that's fine. I really like this interior. This little red piece here really breaks up the black on the door, which is a pretty refreshing thing to look at. And the rest of the car has red interior. Now this is a little too red for me. I like red interior, but this is a very, very bright red. And I don't know, it's just, I don't think it flows. Or this particular color, I think if it was a darker red, it would be pretty cool. But I don't know, it's just, it's okay. You know, it's something I could probably live with, but I would like a darker red. And here is that leather cracking that I was talking about that you didn't see on the Daytona. You see it here on the thigh, and you see it especially here on the left-hand side. And the reason for that is when you get out of the car, you're going to move to the left. But with proper care, it would look like the bolster on the right. But unfortunately, it seems like this person just never really wiped it down, never really had a solution for it, and now you see a lot of cracking. Now, this looks like something you can easily clean off to make it about the same color, but the cracking's there. That's permanent. So that's, again, something you'll have to think about, whether you want this cracked up left side or not, or whether you can tolerate it. The rear seats, they look brand new. Mustangs aren't known for rear seat legroom, so we're not even going to bother with that. And there's your 5-speed manual. Oh, manuals are just awesome. So this This manual alone earns a lot of points in this Mustang. Now we have an aftermarket radio unit, which is nice. If I were to pick up a Mustang, I'd probably do the same. So for me, this is a plus. You know, I'm sure the factory radio is sufficient, but I do enjoy the Bluetooth connectivity, and if it does come with navigation, that's pretty cool too. But if not, I have my phone. One downside to this is that it doesn't have dual zone climate control, and I believe the Daytona does. The two on the left are for driver, and the two on the right is for the passenger. So you see here that the Ford Mustang only has one set of adjustments, so you're going to have to compromise with whoever you're riding with. Let's just keep going. Not that that's a huge deal, but it is something to consider, especially if the other passenger likes the temperature significantly more different than you do. Here's the odometer reading just to confirm that it's about 54,000 miles. And looks like they did a really good job cleaning up this engine bay. For the Mustang, we're talking about $13,000 at 54,000 miles, which is not bad. 54,000 miles for a Mustang. Well, for any car that's in 2006 is nice. So I mean, again, this is a car that was rarely driven. Alright, Daytona fans, now that we've gone through the Daytona and the Mustang, we have to pick our winner. Of course I'm gonna pick the Daytona. I'm not even gonna give you time to think about that. I drive a Daytona now. Why wouldn't I pick a Daytona in the 10 to 15 range? As a matter of fact, before buying my current Daytona, I did look into these 06, 07s, but at the time there just wasn't any within, I believe, 250 or a 300 mile radius. So even if I wanted one, I couldn't get one. But I'm very, very happy with my current Daytona, and I know I would be very happy with one of these 06, 07s, but probably the 06 if I was in the market right now. And for 12,000 bucks, I mean, I could easily talk that down to probably 10. For $10,000, you get a Daytona with low mileage, and it's limited edition. How could you not want that? Alright, Daytona fans, that's it for this video. I think it was pretty obvious from the beginning what my pick would be, and I know it seems biased and unfair, but you know what? I love that Daytona trim. It's awesome. It's just so awesome. And I hope you found this educational and entertaining at the same time. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.